At least about 22 people are dead and hundreds of others have been injured after violent protests in Nepal. The massive anti-corruption movement has continued despite the previously imposed social media ban was lifted. With protesters saying that social media ban was never the core concern of the people, the ensuing violence and the unrest has prompted the resignation of the incumbent Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. The situation on the ground remains very volatile. The country's parliament has been charred after it was vandalized and set ablaze by the protesters on Tuesday. The neighbouring buildings have also been torched and streets lay completely empty. In Bhagpateni, a department store was set on fire while 3 police officers stationed at Koteshwar were allegedly killed by the protesters after they had already surrendered. The Nepalese army has announced plans to impose prohibitory orders to restore normalcy, and so far over 26 people have been arrested for vandalizing property and looting. The turmoil has forced the shutdown of Kathmandu's main international airport, with several airlines cancelling their flights to the country, including India's Air India and Indigo. The violent protests are led largely by the country's youth against corruption, nepotism and economic stagnation. On Tuesday, they set the Nakhu jail on fire and then freed Nepal's ex-deputy Prime Minister Ravi Lamachane and 1,200 other inmates. The protesters also demanded that Lamachane should be appointed as the next Prime Minister, whom they see as a change. The United Nations Human Rights Chief has termed the incident as appalling and has urged the authorities to protect the right to peaceful protest and has called for investigation into the deadly crackdown.
I'm appalled by the escalating violence in Nepal that has resulted in multiple deaths and the injury of hundreds of mostly young protesters, as well as the widespread destruction of property. I plead with security forces to exercise utmost restraint and to avoid further such bloodshed and harm.
Now, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has urged the Nepalese authorities to show restraint and to seek a constructive path forwards. And the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called for peace in neighbouring nation while terming the violence to be heartrending and has stressed that Nepal's stability is vital for the region. And WION's correspondent Saloni Murarka has been tracking the story very closely for us from Kathmandu. Listen.
anti-corruption protest here in Nepal turned violent. The administrative buildings have been set on fire. I'm standing at the moment in the Supreme Court. This is the Supreme Court of Nepal. As you can see, these are the helpers who have come in to help clean the building, take the files out which are still intact. It is estimated that over 50,000 cases have been destroyed in this fire. I will take you in. This is the main premises. This is the main premises of the Supreme Court of Nepal, and this is the main building. As you can see, all the files are being passed on from one person to another to clear out the building and the debris around. As I walk inside the building, I see shattered papers, shattered glasses, and debris around. You see, all of the people have come in to help the lawyers and the helpers of the Supreme Court to clean the building. We'll just take a walk inside and see the situation. You can see the entire wall is charred by fire, and however, we are yet to receive exact information on the loss that has incurred in the court. But many of the thousands of files have been destroyed in this fire. We'll take a walk in. You see, this is the line that is going from in to out, passing on the files from one person to another, trying to clear the building as soon as possible. This is the main entry gate to the building. As you can see, it is completely destroyed and charred, and debris around, shattered glasses around, all the windows panes have been broken. However, all the workers, all the lawyers anyway have gathered around to clean their own workplace. These are the burnt files, and it is estimated that thousands of file cases have been destroyed in this fire. You can see these walls which are completely charred, and in many of the areas in part of the Supreme Court we see that still this smoke is rising to the sky. Every person, every normal civilians have also come in to help the lawyers in. Thousands of file cases have been destroyed. The protesters attacked the government buildings, the administrative buildings, and have brought to the ground. I'm Saloni Murarka reporting from Kathmandu for WION, Nepal.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.